The second story we need to get into is over in the NFL, the coaches, who's staying, who's going, who's getting hired. Urban Meyer in Jacksonville, he was just hired after a 17-year coaching career at Ohio State and Florida and a few other schools. Throughout that career as a head coach, he was 118 and 32, and that includes 3 national championship victories with one at Ohio State and one and 2 at Florida, including those Tebow years. Urban's looking for a new challenge in the NFL. He's been coaching college kids for years and wants to step it up to the big leagues at professional level with grown men. And he's definitely going to need to switch up his messaging, switch up his coaching style, and figure out what resonates with 55 guys from 18 to 40 and how he's going to be able to lead men into battle as opposed to college kids. And these professionals are expecting a competent, knowledgeable head coach, which he is definitely. But there's definitely a difference in the X's and O's of football between the college game and the NFL game. And he's definitely going to need to make that transition. I don't think the X's and O's will be tough for him. He's looking into offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators that have had extensive experience in the NFL. I don't think it's going to be that. It's going to be the transition that starts tripping up most people who have tried to make the jump from the college game to the NFL game is the leading. The leading of kids. Like, you're used to, if you tell a college kid what to do, he's going to do it, and he's just going to go. The NFL, these NFL guys are set in their ways. Some of them have been in the league for 10 years, and they know what they're doing. They know how to get their job done to the best of their ability. That's why they've been in the league. And if some guy just comes in here and starts changing stuff and saying it's my way or the highway, they're going to tell this guy, Urban Meyer, to go take a hike. I've been in the Pro Bowls. I've been doing all these things. You're going to tell me what to do? No, I'll go tell you what to do. It's just a different environment in the NFL, and I think Urban Meyer can do it. I believe in old Urban Meyer. He's been very successful as a college coach, but so have a lot of people who haven't been able to make the transition, and we'll see how he does with his first year with the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're projected to take Trevor Lawrence first overall. I assume they're going to take the Flying Hawaiian. He's one of the best talents coming out of the draft in, I don't know, since Andrew Luck, they say, which Andrew Luck was a generational player. He really was. He never he never won the Super Bowl, but he did retire early in a career that still had a significant amount of promise left. And I say that Trevor Lawrence right now looks better than Andrew Luck did coming out of college. So I think this is Trevor Lawrence definitely is a lock to go number 1 to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we'll see how. Even though in his interview, in his first press conference as the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Urban Meyer didn't say that they were going to take Trevor Lawrence. They are going to take Trevor Lawrence, and we will just see how Urban Meyer builds the offense around him, and we'll also see what happens to Gardner Minshew going forward, if he gets re-signed as the backup to Trevor Lawrence or to compete with Trevor Lawrence, or if he gets shipped off to another team or gets cut to go sign his own contract somewhere else. The second hire made in this NFL offseason coaching carousel was Bob Saleh, Robert Saleh, by the New York Football Jets to replace Adam Gase, the offensive guru that he was, who's probably going to be moving over to the New England Patriots after being fired by the Jets about a week and a half ago. Saleh is the 20th coach in Jets football history. He's taken over the reins with a lot of big decisions to make in this upcoming season with Sam Darnold, who has kind of been underwhelming in his first 3 years as the starter. Some people believe, too, that it's time to move on from Sammy D. Some people believe that it is all to blame on Adam Gase, his head coach, which I am probably partially leaning to that side. I do think Sam Darnold has some promise. I do think he's got some decent leadership ability. I think he's got a decent arm. I think he can move around the pocket. I don't think Jets fans should all be out on Sammy D. But if it's him or Trevor Lawrence, which they don't have the first overall pick anymore, obviously you're going Trevor Lawrence. But if it's him or Justin Fields, I don't know. I'm thinking about sticking with Sammy D. I think he could probably make us take the Jets forward in the short term, at least better than Justin Fields or drafting another quarterback in the draft. Sammy D knows what it requires to be an NFL starting caliber quarterback. He's been able to perform. He hasn't performed at the lowest level possible. He's been impressive in some circumstances. He's played well. And if he wasn't coached by an absolute stooge in Adam Gase, probably would produce way more. And I don't think it's the worst idea of the Jets organization to bring him back and let Rob Saleh see what he could do with it, because he's not getting the pick at Trevor Lawrence. He's going to be having to settle for the second or third best quarterback in the draft. And I don't know. I just don't think any of them are better than Sam Darnold as of right now. I know you could build them into uh, a future good quarterback who is better than Sam Darnold, and all of them do have upside to be better than Sam Darnold. But it's just as of right now, they don't need to rebuild when they could pay Sam Darnold, bring him back again, give him one more shot, and not completely cut the head off of the snake of the last Jets organization of seeing what they were going to build with Sammy D. Let him run it back one season, and then I assume you could probably get a quarterback just as good as Justin Fields in the next draft if Sammy D doesn't work out. The third story out of the NFL coaching carousel is that earlier in the week, Doug Pederson was fired out of Philadelphia. Doug Pederson out of Philadelphia. News broke Monday. He is shipped away, canceled. The guy's finished. I think he has other jobs lined up. He's been getting other interviews. The owner said it was mutually beneficial for both of them if they just moved on. It didn't seem like, based on the comments coming out of it, that Doug Pederson really had any intention of keeping his job. The Philadelphia Eagles organization's made a few requests of changes, maybe coaching changes, maybe strategy changes, whatever it was, and Doug Pederson was having none of it. He said he wasn't changing his philosophy. He said it wasn't the coaching that ruined this season for the Philadelphia Eagles. He said it wasn't us, it was them. So Doug Pederson out. And for some reason, there's another team out there that wants Doug Pederson as their head coach. I don't know why. He lost the locker room after the Carson Wentz benching. The locker room was split in two. Some players immediately went with Jalen Hurts, but there was other guys still torn who wanted to see their guy Carson still in the lineup. This happened in the locker room, and it spilled into social media. There was players liking and retweeting tweets to show who they supported. There's people liking tweets and stuff to show that they wanted Carson Wentz back, and they were liking tweets that talk shit about Doug Pederson. So that was about probably week 10, week 11. And then ever since then, it's just really been back and forth. The players finally got on the side. Everybody was kind of riding Jalen Hurts. Everybody thought he was amazing. Everybody believed in the kid. And then going to their last game in the fourth quarter, down 3, Doug Pederson pulls Jalen Hurts out of the game to get Nate Sudfeld some meaningful snaps. Yeah, that was crazy. And that is when the straw that broke the camel's back on Doug Pederson in Philadelphia. The organization saw that, got him out of there. They already probably heard some complaints from the players. They just weren't on Doug Pederson's side, and they didn't believe that Doug Pederson was going out there and trying to get the team's wins as much as they were. Just killed the respect level that any players had left for him. They were leaving it all on the field every week, every time. They were all trying to win these games, and then Doug Pederson just basically went out and took a knee on the 20-yard line and let the clock run out on the season. Everyone in that locker room, including Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts, Jason Kelce, Zach Ertz, they all knew, they could see that Doug Pederson just wasn't there for the win. They were in just 3 years after the Super Bowl, Doug Pederson out of a job in Philadelphia. And the Eagles will be added to the list of teams into looking for a coach this season. Whoever they hire will have a tough job to piece back together the locker room to pick their starting quarterback along with their GM. That organization definitely has a lot to straighten out and needs to piece together what seems to be a broken locker room. And so far on the coaching carousel, that is it. There's still 5 coaches left to be hired and about 6 or 7 GMs left to fill teams. We'll see what the coaches choose as their starting quarterbacks, and we'll get into the next week. We'll go into the best QB coach combos going into 2021.